Good evening, everybody. Today is Tuesday, August 25th, 2020 at 9:04 in the p.m. Now, we're going to talk about a few things here that go on pretty much with each of us. All of us at some point see synchronicities, number patterns, repeating numbers, uh, and as we've been going through, with the sacred geometry and other topics that have been dropped in videos, uh, it's pretty miraculous what we're finding out. Also, I shared that I had a dream that I was shown in my transcript. It was odd, because as we know, when I was in high school, each class was worth 5 credit hours. That's how they did it here in my area in California. One class, 5 credit hours, and you needed X amount of credit hours to receive your diploma. Now, when I went to college, like a science class that had lab would be like 4 credit hours, or a regular course class would be 3 credit hours. And again, same kind of ordeal would go on. You need a certain amount of credit hours and also have covered certain specific topics along with core classes towards the degree or what direction that you took your education in. You're getting what it was that you wanted to be when you grew up. And I know you've heard me say everything I took in college, from the humanities courses, from art history, and my one of my basic sciences was human anatomy, and of course we have to take core classes of American history, world history, things of that nature, and all of that stuff doesn't match up with what I learned when I was in college. Not just college, but high school. It's like, what? So, the one thing though that has stayed pretty consecutive is math. So, today I want to talk about numeric patterns. Let's see, it's the 111. We're going to talk about the triangle. We're going to talk about the Trinity, and we're going to talk a little bit of psychology from some pretty amazing information that I got from my younger brother the other day, and he gave me full permission to share it as if it was my own here with you guys, because it's really interesting to look at, to check out, and at least think about, what is going on. Now, a lot of times when I would see repeating numbers, whether on a license plate, even on YouTube, I would have like 11 thumbs up, 1 thumbs down, and there I would see the 111, or 111 views, or it just the patterns, license plates, addresses, and obviously we see them on the clock. But to see it in a dream on a transcript, and mind you, on this transcript, every supposed class that I took, which the classes that were listed did not make sense when I was looking at it from what I would be used to as an actual transcript. And each one only gave me one credit. And I was like, what is this? What am I looking at? And when I got all the way to the bottom, it said 111. So apparently I had taken 111 classes that were only worth 1 credit each. But there was something more to that. It was a symbolic dream. It was meant to, as I do, I will have things, we're all dream workers. We know that. I'll get information, and then I will meditate or sit on it. There's one person I did discuss it with because I was so blown away by it. And he actually was able to have me balance out, quiet my mind down. Oh, I'm gonna have to call. That's my sister in Oklahoma. to quiet my mind down and to be able to then visually see what is going on around. What was the scenery? Where was I when I was looking at it? Because all I remember is being shown the paper, and at the top it said transcript, and then it just had 1 credit, 1 credit, 1 credit, 1 credit. And like I said, the classes that, or whatever would be the line item for the class, did not make sense. It was like, what? But that's because it was a symbolic dream. It has to do with the 111. And that's why we're going to talk about the triangle and the Trinity. And we're going to talk about the left and the right. Or we're going to talk about, where we can disagree with one another and completely have what it is that we think or what we believe without any doubt manifest into our reality that could be completely separated from somebody else, so both would be right, but at the bottom of the pyramid, all sides being equal, would be the level of the truth. So but there was actually some really deep philosophy that he gave me about that had nothing to do with what I just presented as an example. It's actually pretty deep on the perception of each of us and how information can get convoluted or mishandled. A second. Based on who we're telling it to, and how the divine masculine and the divine feminine think so much differently from one another, and why when we come together, we bring a wholeness to one another. And this has nothing to do with, whether you're attracted to the same sex or any of that. I have not had to deal with such a problem. So, my heart goes out to you, because I know that a lot of times people, can be cruel, especially when you're different. And this is a time of togetherness that we should be coming together in a oneness that is beyond no other, but also staying unique. I have been doing some premieres lately, and what I think I may do to help you guys out is I think I'll put the date of the original air date and then maybe put mirror after it, so you know that it is actually something that was done in the past that still has a wealth of now moment information packed in. Some of them are interviews or information and other things, rather than feeling like we're repeating ourselves over and over, because I know many of us are ready to move on and get to that next aha moment within ourselves. Here we talk about self-awareness, hyper-awareness, knowing everything that you are and more. I mean, you're unique, you're divine, you're sovereign. There's only one of you. And you're meant to be exactly who you are. And you also, and I also, we all have free will. The last one that I did put up as a premiere, I was listening back to it. And I have to say, I said, don't take the unconditional love and knowing, when we know who each other is, and we have that unconditional love for one another, it's really not a weakness. It is a strength, actually, if somebody is taking action or something to hurt you, for you to walk away in unconditional love. Now, I have thought about what I have said, and you guys know that I will correct myself when I am, when what I put out, maybe at that moment I was just really upset and frustrated, or and it was best just to make distance, because if I sit there or I keep pushing myself back into a situation, then my thoughts can go to places that I don't want them to go, because I love everybody. And I want everybody to be, from my perspective and in my intentions that I put out, to know that, and to feel the highest good coming from me. I don't want to be throwing fiery darts or anything, or anger, or any kind of upset or turmoil that's going on from whatever transpired. So sometimes, walking away and making some space. And, we talk about those kind of things pretty much throughout our lives. You get into a fight with your husband or your wife, and you go and take a walk to cool down, right? So it's like that. It's not meant to be a forever thing. It depends on what happened. What was the dynamics, and how really, bad was it? Because we softly shut the door. I did mention that the door shut softly, so that way it can be easily opened back up, because we can't be so final in everything that we do, especially when it comes to one another. So I still love everybody, whether we've had falling outs or whatever. But for me to keep the intentions pure to the highest good, it's better. It's better for me to go ahead and take that walk and cool down, and let that go, purge it out, and do whatever with the energy. Okay, so I'm hoping that by now there's no flipping commercials playing. I still need to figure out how to do that. Okay, we're going to start with the 111. And I found some triangles that I want to bring up. Where's the first one that I want to show you guys? And we're going to talk about 111 and 333 and being on a triangle, and show you that what we really want to get to, even when we talk about the triangle, the Trinity, and all of that, is one wholeness. So okay, where did my little triangles go? Triangle overlay. Here we go. Okay. Isn't that just pretty? Okay. Let's see what I got in this text and where is it located. Okay, good. That's the one. That's what I wanted to say. Hold on. Okay. Where are you? Oh, let me move it. And let me move my triangle so they're not stacked up on top of each other. Make the chidito smaller. Okay, so if we're looking at 111, let's look at each edge, each side of the triangle as 1, 1, 1. Okay, and maybe it could be each, because the triangle is to be equal portions on every side of a triangle. The triangle, so on a 1, 1, 1, let's say the right side is 1 inch, the left side is 1 inch, and the bottom is 1 inch. But what does that equal? It equals 3, right? 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 3. So if that equals 3, does it bring us back to the 1? So these are the things we're going to talk about this evening, and how we get to the 1, and with these analogies and allegories that we're going to go through. The next one I want to talk about is left, right, okay. So now we have the left side of the pyramid, or I'm sorry, pyramid, triangle, We have the right side of the triangle. And then we look at the bottom side as the truth. Okay? So if we look at, when we see polar opposites, when we see things that transpire, and we got the left-right paradigm, we've got the blue-red dynamics, right? The foundation that we need to be getting to would be at the bottom edge of the pyramid of truth. That's what we're seeking. No matter what the right or left or side is thinking, we always want to get to the foundation, and the foundation being truth. So if there is a dispute between the left side and the right side, we can use our brain for example. If the left side of our brain, our analytical, physical, logical, maybe even said to be side of our brain, is lifted up so high, and the right side of our brain, our creative and all of the essence of imagination, which of course you guys know that's where dreams come from, dream workers, the divine feminine, divine masculine working together for that foundational truth in a oneness. So the left side of our brain, logic, the right side being the creative. Well, if they're out of balance, we need to put them in balance and level, so then they're in proper proportions and measurements with the triangle. Otherwise, if we don't have the left and the right side of our brain equal, our triangle will not be of equal portions on each side. It will actually be short on the right side, too long on the left side, and then the foundation will be cockeyed. So the foundation's not there because we haven't put ourselves in balance. Okay, I keep popping in and out of the chats to see what's going on in there. Also, now we're going to get into I should just leave the properties for this open. Okay. Huh? Sorry. Truth could stay at the stay on there, because that truth is always truth. Truth is always going to be the foundation. But if we do 1 plus 1 plus 1, like I said earlier, equals 3. All right. Or if we say, we hear about the secret society, say 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 9. Okay, and we can go further. We can say, okay, 33, plus 33 plus 33 equals 99. And when you get, when you start looking at things from that perspective, are we ever going to get to 1? They always seem to be lacking just the 1. One more aspect of ourselves added into this paradigm would then make a 10, right? And a 10, 1 plus 0 equals 1. And 99, add 1, and then you've got 1, 0, 0. So again, equaling just 1. How do we get there? How do we get to be 1? I'm sorry, this thing just keeps flopping and annoying me. Okay, now the other that I want to talk about is the Trinity. Okay, we've got Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Okay, that's the Trinity. I know the Trinity is not mentioned in the Bible, but when you are born from above or are awakened, you understand that there is, we have a spirit, we have a body, we have a soul. So if you think that you're putting on the mind of Christ, you're getting the renewing of your heart, and the Christ would be back being connected to the heavenly realm, to the Father, okay? And then Christ is on the throne of our heart, okay? Christ consciousness, it's from the Holy Spirit. We have a body and we have a soul. So there's actually 4 aspects. So we have length, width, height, and depth. So we cannot, if we're missing one little piece, it can cause confusion. So we're going to try and unravel that, and becoming self-aware through your dream working, self-love, unconditional love, respecting each other's uniqueness and what we each have to offer, having unity and diversity, not being cookie cutouts because that would be boring, but also sharing with one another what we know, what we've learned over, for me, it's been a little over 2 decades. And for others, it could have been longer or it could have been shorter. But people are now talking about these things that we would think would be phenomena, paranormal things, where actually we're naturally, that's our natural state. So we should be living a natural, supernatural life. We should be witnessing miracles daily. And it shouldn't be such a shocker. It should be like, oh yeah, okay, I'm healed, or you're healed, or, things are lifted and we are, brought up to the wholeness that we are in the oneness that we are. And when we see number patterns, a lot of times when I see number patterns, peek over into the chat. When I see number patterns and stuff, I take a more of a affirmation, or what was I thinking about at that moment when I saw that numeric pattern. We see the 555s, but still that's 15, and so that would be 1 plus 5, and that would be 6. Still not breaking us down to that 1. And we are one. When we are whole, we know that we're operating from, we are spiritual, we are physical, we have the third eye awakening, we have a soul, we have our avatar, and we have our connection. We become whole, and we then look at others and can see, the divinity in their eyes. And we know that through thought, and with no doubt. Let's say you just think something and you just let it go, and don't overthink it or worry or sit there and wait, that it just happens. It just shows up, and you're like, oh my gosh, I just thought about you yesterday, and there you are. Here you are today, and here we're talking. A friend of mine, we were chatting in the where were we chatting? In Facebook, and we were talking about a very, very lovely lady that neither of us had heard from for a while, and we asked, we were talking to each other, and we were saying how much we missed her and how much we loved her. I don't even think it was 2 days later where she went ahead and had one of her get-together live streams, and we got to see her. I mean, it happens just like that. It happens. We think about one another, and all of a sudden, boom, there we are. I mean, I don't know exactly how to describe it, but we didn't put much thought into it. We just put out the, that we loved her and we missed her, and we just wanted to see her. We, make sure everything was all good. And boom, there she was. And it wasn't just me that got to see her. That other lady got to see her too. It was just, things like that happen all the time. I think it was Preliminal that asked the other day, and this was during one of the premieres from an older stream that I just brought up and played again, because a lot of the information in there is still, it's always a now moment, but also sometimes we can see where we have grown from that information to where we are today. Some may be able to glean from it, and some may be going, aha, I remember when I thought like this, and and here I am thinking like this now. We're constantly flowing into this understanding of what's going on within us all the time. Okay, back to Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So if we look at the triangle, okay, Father one side, Son one side, and Holy Spirit. But now I have another triangle that I want to pull up and share with you guys. So hold on, let me grab that one, and which will, emphasize the part missing that I'm talking about. It's not, okay, I think I need to make him a little smaller so we can see him better. He's a big one. Sorry, guys. Be patient with me, please. Okay, this is supposed to be like in a 3D style of a triangle. Let me move him up above the words. No, where'd you go? No, there we go. Okay, can you see the depth? I probably should change my background, but you can see here in the center, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but you can see that there's a line in it. You got the red at the bottom, you got the yellow, then you got the blue, but it's to show the depth, okay, which is the one component. So if you put 33 on each side of the pyramid, or even 3, but you add that depth, you add that 1, and then that makes the 10, and then therefore you become 1. You become self-aware, fully conscious, fully operating, wholly knowing who you are. And with Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, we can say, we know we have a soul. That can be the compartment, or the one that would be the depth that is missing, that would make the oneness, to bring it all into fruition. And that, like I said, I know Trinity is not listed, or that word is not used in the scripture. But then again, wait a minute. I was reading in Jude yesterday, because somebody kept showing their clouds, and they were talking about the old way that I used to think that clouds were, but I don't think that way anymore, and I don't even see that stuff in my skies anymore. I see something completely different and so beautiful that it's beyond comprehension. But he kept looking, at the skies, and I was like, I know that Jude is only it's one chapter, and I had that book memorized, verbatim. It's the book right before Revelations, and it had a woe in it to those who create clouds that do not carry rain. So it's talking about fake clouds. And I remember talking to my husband about it and saying, wow, maybe this book really is outside of time. How did they know that there was going to be, this going on? And at that time was when we were seeing, the checkerboard skies, when, we read that. But that book we had memorized. But now that whole paradigm has changed for us. But when I looked in the Bible to look up that verse, the entire verse is changed. It is changed. Now it is a woe unto people. It's a woe unto people who are, and they're likened to clouds with no water in them. They enjoy creeping in and partaking in the feasts, but their reasons that they're there are not the intentions. And I was like, what? It's like, whoa. I think it's if you know your Bible, or you read the Bible, or if you're curious to look at this for yourself, it's Jude, of course, chapter 1, because there's only one chapter, verse 12. And I was like, what? Because it did say, woe to those who create clouds in the sky that do not produce rain. It doesn't say that anymore. So when I say Trinity is not in the Bible, I don't know if I could say that definitively, because the Bible, everything is changing. It's changing right before our eyes. As we think it and no longer doubt it, it's changing without observation, without having to seek a sign. These things are just happening to us. It's happening and flowing all around us. But the Trinity would still be lacking one important component, is, with our uniqueness, our soul, our there's only one of you, there's only one of me. We each add and enhance to one another's life. We bring something different and unique to the table, and for that reason, that is why we're so unique. And that's what keeps this place interesting, intriguing, and learning more about our self-awareness and how we're able to think and lose the doubt and then watch it just transpire. The sun moving its trajectory still boggles mine and my husband's mind. No longer does it rise in the east and set in the west. He built that shed with the barn top on it, and it just completely blocked the sun from the swimming pool. And I was mad, and I said, look, now we don't get any sunshine on the pool now from the afternoon on. You took it away. And the next time, it wasn't like, it could have been the next day that it was on a new trajectory, but it was a couple days later when we went outside, and I'm like, honey, look at this. It's not, there's sunshine on the swimming pool now. And what? And he was like, what? So it was within a couple days. But we just said it and went on. We didn't sit there and think much on it. It was just like a gift that was given, a blessing. We're often blessed, and we don't even recognize the blessings that we receive because we will say something, and then it would just come about, and then it's like, oh, coincidence. When actually that came from inside you, projecting it out through your toroidal field, out into your Merkaba. And I'm sure you guys, I'm talking to a mature group here who understands our toroidal field is the magnetic field that surrounds us. Some could call it our aura, but that's from our magnetic heart. And then our Merkaba is when you're working and you're a dream worker, or you go in an astro realm type of a trip, you're traveling in your Merkaba. And what that is you look at this triangle here, and then there's another triangle. So you've got the male and female triangles as one, spinning in opposite directions so fast that we're transported at the speed of thought in our dream time. And usually those are the most memorable experiences that we have, is when we actually are transported. And nothing beats being over someplace else for where you think you're there for hours and hours, and then you wake up and it's only been 15 minutes. Yeah. Stuff like this is happening more and more to each of us on a regular basis. So back to the pyramid. You don't like my backdrop? You don't like the what? Oh, the not pyramid, the triangle, or the gift that I made with the waterfall and all that stuff. Hello, consciousness evolution, Paul Johnson, biker babe. Oh my gosh, Yeah, and Michael Fontaine, what? Okay, I got a different, since Paul doesn't like the one with the 3D-ish look, let me pull up the other one. I have a third triangle that I want to bring up. Hold on. Hold on. And where did it go? Where did you go now? Okay. Oh. I'm going to move it before it pops up. Oh. Oh my gosh. Michelle. I did get rid of a bunch of stuff that I had in OBS. I've been working on something for you guys, and it's a really big project. But I've had to dump some of the stuff out of OBS because it makes things go too slow. Okay, where did you go? There it is. Okay. There we go. Okay. Make it a little smaller. Okay, back to the triangle. And let's go, where's my text? And we'll go on to the next one. Give me uno momento. I'm like totally lost. You guys can tell that my glasses are, I think they're trifocals actually, because I have to read through the bottom. Where'd it go? What did I do? Oh, here it is. Okay. Now, the next three is your way, my way, truth. Okay, again, we've got a triangle, and it's your way that you're thinking, my way that I'm thinking and perceiving, and then the foundation is the truth. So no matter what my interpretation is or your interpretation is, the one thing that matters most is truth. It will outweigh my perception, your perception. But where we get into a conundrum is that what I perceive and believe without any doubt will actually be the reality that I am walking in. So, how do we boil that down into truth? My truth could be different than somebody else's truth. But there is one fundamental truth, and that is that we're unique, we're sovereign, we're beautiful, and no two alike. And all of us, no exclusions at all of us are able to, I have it on top chat. I'm so sorry, you guys, if I've missed anybody. All of us are able to do all of these things. It's just a matter of becoming conscious of it, or awareness. The child of the creator, or you could call it higher self. I don't worry about the labels. The labels don't matter, because from the research that I've done into different cultures and countries and different understandings that they go through, the truth is there in their own way of getting to the same basic fundamental truth that is within each and every one of us. Being raised as a Christian, Christ, we're after the death and resurrection. He ascended, sent back the Holy Spirit, and Christ dwells within us. So if we're in a perpetual holding pattern of waiting for something to come through the sky to rescue us, we're outsourcing where everything we need is within us. We just have to figure out the puzzle of getting from the 111, which is a 3, or the 33, 33, 33, which is a 99, to figure out what that one thing is, to have this aha moment go on within us. We then stop waiting for somebody to come in and rescue us, and we then become the leaders of our own lives. We then become creators, and we then also can see that we're all brothers and sisters in the divinity within each and every person that we surround ourselves with. Now I'm going to tell you guys something funny. This was the conundrum that my brother was that my brother shared with me. Okay, we're talking divine masculine and divine feminine, and how different we think from one another. Okay, the husband, the divine masculine, finds out that some of their friends are getting a divorce. Okay, so he comes home and he tells his counterpart, his equal, his divine feminine, his wife, hey, such and such is getting a divorce. Now, from the feminine aspect, what do you think happens next? What happened? Why are they getting a divorce? What's going on? Divine masculine, I don't know. Divine feminine, what do you mean you don't know? Didn't you ask? What? That's pretty, that's a life-changing experience. Something had to have happened. Didn't they say anything else? Divine masculine, no. Divine feminine, did you ask any questions about it? Divine masculine, no. Because he got the pertinent information. Their friends are getting a divorce. So he brought it home and shared it with his wife. But the wife wanted details. Females will ask questions. Men will be satisfied with the information that's presented. They don't like to pry. They're the strong silent type. They will listen to what is told to them, but they're not going to dig. Where from and that comes from, the differences that we have between male and female. The female, on the other hand, if her friend comes up and says, I'm getting a divorce, the female is going to say, what happened? Why? I thought you guys were so happy. And then allow the friend to elaborate, express, and get off their chest and release some of this burden, and listen to one another. When men talk to each other and they just say, yeah, we're getting a divorce, although men benefit from talking things out and getting these, transmuting that energy, they don't ask the questions because they don't want to feel like they're invading or prying in or being nosy. When there's a difference between being nosy. Being nosy is overhearing something that, wasn't meant for your ears and then injecting yourself into it. But when somebody is coming up and sharing something with you, there's reasons for that. We should always want to ask more questions. And my little brother was telling me that there was a situation going on, and he's like, okay, I find out this information, I bring it back to my wife, and then she's asking me 1,000,001 questions, and I'm like, I don't have the answers because I didn't ask. It's just the way that we function. But at the same time, it also shows how, when we come together, we enhance each other's life. We don't get married out of convenience or, even like arranged marriages and stuff really don't exist much anymore. we we do find our true love, and when we find our true love, we're companions. We become best friends, and we talk about things all the way through and through, and we bring out the highest good in one another. I want to be the highest version of myself for my husband because he deserves it. And he, in my eyes, from my perspective, is the highest version of himself uh, towards me. I feel that I'm loved unconditionally. We've been through a lot from, debilitating accidents, things that, have been challenging, very challenging on any relationship. He's been there for me the entire time, hands down. He is not just my husband, not just the love of my life, whom we love each other more and more every day, but he's also my best friend. We bring out the best in one another. We take care of each other. But in situations like this, I can easily see my husband talking to my best friend's husband. Maybe they're going through a situation, and the male says something to my husband, and he comes home and tells me, and I'll be, why, what's going on, what happened? And he'd be like, I don't know. I didn't ask. And I'd be like, why didn't you ask? Because now I would feel nosy because the information wasn't presented to me to just call out of the blue to my friend and ask a bunch of questions. See what I mean? See the difference between being intrusive and invasive, or when somebody actually is opening up and giving them the space. As men and women, we are different. We're built different. Our bodies are different. But when it comes to our spirit, our soul, the awakening process, in all of that, it is in it's in equality. There's not. I think back when the Apostle Paul was going around, and he went to that one area where they were lifting the divine feminine up above males. That is so far in error. The divine masculine and divine feminine go hand in hand. We're to be walking side by side, never having one lifted up over another. We have different earthly or 3D type responsibilities, different 3D avatars. But when you boil us down to that we all come from the same source, the divine breath of life in each of us, and the creative abilities that we each have, it's equals. It's all in equality. God does not, or creator of this place does not look down and say, you're a daughter, so meh. You're a son, so meh. Mm-mm. He says, you're my daughter, you're my son, and I have given everything to you in abundance. So we're in a time of remembering how to use it and to do it without any doubt. Removing doubt from any thought within our mind. So, if we're raised Christian like I have, I cleave to Christ, and he led me out of man-made religion, is what he did, and led me into the truth of what he taught, his teachings, which they are exactly what he said. It's freedom, it's life more abundantly, and living in the light, understanding the light. And now, when we think about the paradigm of yin and yang, a lot of times people think good and evil. But in truth, yin and yang is not supposed to be good and evil. It's a dance between different levels of experiences, how we expand and grow, what we learn, and how we become more and more self-aware on what we're able to do here for one another without encroaching our will onto another. That's what we're coming out of. We're coming out of three sides of the um, triangle, 1, 1, 1 equaling a 3, and then we can go to a 3, 3, 3 equaling a 9, to we're adding that 1 and becoming that 10, which would be 1 plus 0 being 1. There's one of you. There's one of me. Every single tool, gift, ability that we would think are paranormal or that we would think are supernatural or miraculous, we each hold within us. It's our own. We get in our own way with our doubt. When we have any kind of doubt, it hampers us up, and then we buffer each other because when people outside are saying that's not possible, this isn't possible, and we're listening to many voices outside of us, what happens then? That will then we'll become insecure within ourselves, and that will bring doubt. And when you bring doubt, that's when we have problems, where we're at a time, no matter what your transcript says, that we're coming into a consciousness of awareness, of understanding oneself, the inner beauty that lies within each and every single one of us. Does not matter what avatar we are in, and what we're occupying. It's an avatar, you guys. It's our body to have such experiences that we can only have in a place like this to grow in our soul. So there's nothing that has been given in higher portions to one and neglected into another. Each of us has everything available. And there's people, the other day I did a call-in show, and Tommy Tell the Truth, actually he's operating under Tommy Tell the Truth 2 now, I think for a few months due to YouTube issues, but he was mentioning that because he wants to love God and that he wants to love Christ, that people are isolating themselves away from him and kind of shaming him for feeling that way. We shouldn't be doing that. That's wrong. Why should we shame anybody for their faith? We're sovereign. We have our own unique perceptions. We have our own unique faith walk. And why would we ever want to hamper anybody else when it's a personal, through our free will choice? And if the choice that we made, if we want to cleave to Christ and he leads us out of the bondage and into all truths, who are we to say that that is not the right way? We should never try to conform people into our religious or our patterns or ways of thinking on how things transpire. Because of the uniqueness of each of us, we have a lot of synchronistic landmark steps that we go through. And by sharing with one another, it brings peace and comfort to so many people that I could just wish that when this all began, that all of you guys would have been out there, so I didn't get hampered and stumbled up under what I call them harsh taskmasters. They heaped and steeped a bunch of rules and compliance things, that burdens that weren't mine to carry. and I overloaded myself, and it was too much. It was way too much to try and carry, and what it did was weigh me down, and it stifled me, and it kept me stuck. Once I was able to let go, and you guys know my testimony, I did cleave to Christ, and He's the one that set me free. He's the one that helped me let go of all of that. He's the one that said, stop listening to those outside. Everything we need is within. He's within. The very breath of life is within. Within, or we wouldn't have our animation. People like to make doctrines because, and it's not out of malice. I really honestly think that they had an awakening process, and through their awakening process, that they have written something down, some kind of a formula. But what we need to be patient and understanding with is that each of us has different things that are between our ears that hamper us up. We each have to release that falseness and let the truth come rushing in. No two alike. So how can we have one book that says this is what we need to do, when that book needs to be flexible? That book needs to be able to suit each of us being so unique. Again, we do have many things that we go through that are very synchronistic, very huge landmark phases of this awareness process, this consciousness. But that doesn't mean that each and every single one of us has had the exact same awakening process or the exact same order that these things come into our awareness. Dreams and visions were the first gift that came into my awareness, and then others followed. It was not miracle healings, or it wasn't things of that nature. Those came along later. Those the instant manifestations, keeping our thoughts on high things, seeing the divinity in each and every person, no matter what they do. You can be, at the gas station and I'm getting gas, and you could be the clerk there, and I can see the divine spark in your eyes of being, equally endowed with every gift and tool within us. It's just a matter of being aware of it and removing the doubt. Now, I have learned how to get the oil and to restore the oil, but that's not going to be the end-all be-all for an awakening process. It'll get people started, heck yeah, and it'll help you keep restoring that oil. But it's not going to put any rhyme, reason, or order to your awakening process, or what it is that you've got, that you've learned outside of yourself. That's not truth, not based on that base of this pyramid, on the foundation of truth. And we need to remove and allow for the truth to come flooding in. It doesn't take long, you guys. Once we're able to let go, that truth floods in like a river, and then you're overflowing. You feel like you're walking on the clouds. And this place changes our outlook. Everything we see around us changes that fast. I kick myself for not, for being so, I talk about, digging the hills in. I was raised with it. I'm not a young woman, and it took a long time to get all of the information that was fed in from external sources out to allow the truth that is within to flood up, bubble up, and resonate through and through. And we always have good and bad days. We are still experiencing sickness. We are still experiencing losing loved ones. Um, as I'm here with you guys tonight, my brother is, I'm losing my brother. He, yeah, he went into the hospital. He had a fall. He fell in the garage, and they thought that, he had a small brain bleed, and um, he was able to speak when he went in, and over time, he's brain dead. He's on life support. So it was either leave him on life support forever, and he'll open his eyes, I guess, every once in a while, and it's just vacant. There's nothing there. And now I know when I was hit by the car when I was 15, that I hovered over myself, and I saw the ambulance come. I saw me in the road, and shoo, I was gone. And at that time, I'm sure I had vacant eyes. I didn't recognize my own parents until, everything that happened there. And I decided, my heart, linked on, and bam, I was back in my body, and I opened my eyes and recognized my mom and dad and was able to speak. We don't know unless such experiences like that happen. And I don't expect anybody to take my word for it. You'll have your own experiences that will be so mind-blowing, and yours, affirmations that are just for you, which will help to remove doubt. But when we are, with other people around us, we also need to recognize their sovereignty and not try to encroach over what it is that they're doing in their life. If what they're doing in their life is not creating harm or damage or, things of that nature, things that we would consider like crime, if they're not stealing from you, if they're not hurting your person, if they are not doing things outright to oppress and control or shame, we should allow them to be. And that goes for Tommy Tell the Truth too. If he wants to, I can tell you this, you guys, I cleave to Christ, and that is who led me to what I know today. And it's just expanding and expanding and expanding. And it's beautiful. But we still do deal with, other people that are not quite, they may not be quite aware, but that does not take away from their equality. It doesn't take away from their ability to create what is going on and affect the dynamics that are going on within their life. They're just not aware of it. When they become aware of it, I can pretty much guarantee they're going to get that circumcised heart and that renewing of that mind with that paradigm shift. Because like I said, when I looked in Jude, there's only one chapter in there, verse 12. It has changed. But that we looked at it the last time, and that book I have memorized because it is only one chapter. It's only like a page and a half long, for crying out loud. And it had a woe in there about those who put clouds in the sky that did not produce rain. And we, at that time, were looking up and seeing a checkerboard sky. We don't see that anymore. We get beautiful blue skies and puffy clouds. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Plants have rejuvenated and come right back to life in front of our, within like a couple days, which we would think is not possible from the old paradigm of thinking. But you guys, we're the only ones limiting ourselves. So let's remove that. Let's add that one component that will take us from being a 9 to a 10. Instead of being a 333, add that 1, become a 10. 1 plus 0, be the 1. Because you are the one you've been waiting for. We are working on teaching here, not followers. We're teaching leaders. Leaders. We are to lead our own life. It's even in our language. We need to also take into account that in the English language, one word can have multiple meanings. Multiple meanings. But with the words we say, it's the intention that we put behind the word. If the intention is for the highest good, no matter what the word is, that's what will transpire. Now, if it is, for shame or to wreak havoc or things of that nature, that's what would be called casting spells, by using words with intentions that don't have the highest good for one another. Understanding who we are, what we're able to do, and also taking responsibility for each action and intention that we flow out, taking that walk if we need to cool down. Make sure, if you're the divine masculine and you're going to present information to your divine feminine when you come home, to try to ask a few more questions, especially when it's important information about people that are friends of yours and the male came to share with you. And it's just things that we need to think about that will enhance our lives, to bring about, full awareness, full consciousness, being hyper aware of our divineness within. I think I've been going about an hour. Hi, Mandela Miles, Tim O, Doc Michaels. Yes, words matter in this place, and the intention behind the words. What we say, what we verbalize, what comes from the magnetic toroidal throne of our heart, the intentions, is what's going to resonate out through the energy, frequency, vibration. It's more like a word is just a sound. Pretend like you're singing a song. You're singing a song with many words that could have multiple meanings. But if it's coming from your heart, it is for the highest good, and they will feel that. But if it's coming from a place of anger or wanting to shame or oppress or control, we feel that too. We become keenly aware of being able to see through the intentions. That, my friends, is one of those landmark steps that we all go through. It's called empathy. Your heart gets circumcised. You can feel the intentions. You can feel the pain. You can, see what's going on in everybody around you. And I'm going to tell you, until we learn how to reel that in and only connect with whom that we are choosing to connect, it is overwhelming. Because when that heart just gets bursted open, and you go to the grocery store or wherever it is that you go, and there is a sea of people, you're feeling everything from everyone, and it can be really overwhelming. Most of the time when that step happens, a lot of people will isolate. They will want some alone time, and that's probably the best thing to do. And then start just inching your way, one-on-one, or then having maybe 2 people around you or 3 people, so we can pull back in and then learn to just connect with whom we want, and control what has been revealed to us in our awareness with that heart bursting open, or what some would call the circumcision, from going from a stony heart into that fleshy heart, filled to the brim with pure love. And something we see, when we see the divine spark within everybody's eye, Everywhere we go, everybody has this divinity within them. There's such a purity in it. Everything looks pure. Everything appears pure because that unconditional love is flowing and radiating out from you. You're operating in many of the things that have been opened up to your consciousness, consciously aware, but all of them, every single gift is within each of us. It just depends as we're able to handle them, they will unlock within us. And the goal is to become the leader, be the leader, and then we can together, without oppressing or controlling or trying to control one another, we can change this place. We talked about group meditation, where you put out a topic, and this was actually done. We talked about they went to the different parks and high crime areas. They, would give the group the topic, and each person would go and do however it is that they did as their uniqueness to meditate, pray on the topic, and there was measurable reduction in crime and so much peace, and it would last for weeks after they had left and moved on to another location. And then when the rates would start to come back up, the officers were like, "Come back, please come back." But the more of us that become aware, the more of us that can do these things, that understand who we are and are leading our life with full conscious awareness, we can be thinking on these high things at all times, constantly renewing our mind with peace and having that radiate out and around in our area and walking through it in our daily life. So I say, I don't see that stuff in the sky anymore. Everything looks different, and different in such a way that it's beautiful beyond comprehension. Don't get me wrong. I'm going through a lot of loss, grief. But even in the grief, I still have this awareness. I had this, I think I'm grateful for the awareness that I had before all of this transpired, because I don't think I would be functioning as well as I am with such a loss. And honestly, I don't think I'm functioning that well. And now on top of it, like I said, my brother's been taken off life support, and now it's just a matter of time. So I'm going to be losing my brother, and I'm not too happy about that. He was considered a stepbrother until my dad, who was my stepdad, adopted me. So now he would be, what would he be to me? He's no longer a stepbrother. Maybe a half-brother from a different mother. But yeah, he's my age, and too young, and he fell. He had a fall in the garage, and I just recently fell in my garage. And guys, watch where we're walking and take care of ourselves. But I healed up really, really quickly from that fall. Shockingly, I did, because I wasn't gonna have it. I was like, nope. I was a dingbat. I walked in from the outside. My glasses tint down dark, and I walk in, and I know the air conditioner leaks. There was a towel in front of it. I stepped on that towel with my wet Croc, and when I took the step forward, my foot went, I don't know how fast it went, and I just went bam down. I don't even remember past stepping on the water and knowing my foot went forward, how I got on the ground. I just remember that I was on the ground on my side, and then I woke up there. Like, I don't know if I stayed conscious or if I lost it for a moment. I could have. And I had a horrible headache. I had to stay up all night, make sure I wasn't concussed, because I think I might have been just a little bit. but I'm feeling much, much better. But that doesn't happen for everyone. Um, Things happen. We're only meant to be here for a blink of an eye of time and get the most experience and grow, have the best and the higher highs and the lower lows. Is such a expansion of our soul growth while we are here, and there's no place like this. In the meantime, we're becoming self-aware, and so much that is within us to be able to affect the energy and the flow that is around us. But do not forget about your neighbors. They also have the same say so around them. It's when we come together that we can sometimes buffer each other. But the more of us that know this about ourselves, the faster this will come about, where we will be sitting in parks together all over the world, bringing peace about everywhere simultaneously in our own ways of connecting and meditating, our own way of talking to the Creator, having that spiritual awareness, meditation, and bringing about such an anomaly. So you're beautiful. You're beautiful. Been through waves and stormy weather, counting on a friend to help you through. Yeah, counting on a friend to help you through. Aww. Yeah. You guys have the people that come here, the people that come and interact in the chat and stuff are. I have to say, you guys are some of the most awakened and aware people, and I enjoy that. I enjoy how we share with one another and how we grow and glean from one another, and how we are all stepping into that leadership role. Nothing like it, you guys. And it's life-changing. It is a life-changing event that happens to each of us. When we're ready, we choose it. Because remember free will. When we choose it, we seek it. When we seek it, we find it. When we find it, it happens. And then it's work. Some of us, it's a little more work, but others can get through it much easier if they don't have, over 3 decades, or three. I'm trying to think. How old am I? I'm not giving away my age, but if we don't have decades of programming under our belt, that we need to get rid of, things that we cleave to that we once thought were fundamental, basic truths that actually turned out that they're not. It's not true at all, and we cleave to those things because, we think that we have to. The Bible itself, it tells us to rightly divide the word. We're told to do that. We're also told to validate everything with 2 witnesses, a minimum of 2 witnesses. But then there'll be a statement that says, remember how you were raised, and then we stumble. But that's only said once. Where's the second witness? So, it's things like that. But I think the Bible is a beautiful book, even as it's morphing and changing, and some of it has gotten pretty graphic. But, it will lead you out. Christ. Seek Him. Seek Him. We're Christians, seek Christ. He will take you out of any kind of binding or bondage or falseness that is within us. He'll never leave or forsake us. And no matter what culture you come from, each of them has their own way of understanding this truth that resides within each of us. We're all leading a life. We come in alone, we leave alone. But when we're here, we're never alone. When we came in, we weren't even alone. And when we leave, we're not alone. But it looks like that from our perspective. When you're born, you come in by yourself, right? When you leave by yourself, right? No. There's always, always, always loved ones, angelics. I think a lot of times people even confuse the angelics of what's mentioned in the Bible as and call them aliens of today. The descriptions that they had, the language that they had to describe such anomalies. I mean, how would you describe something that came down out of the sky and healed you or helped you or gave you a message or, came down with wings, right? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to think about the what they call the fallen angels. I know from my heart of hearts that it is us with our free will that we choose. And if we choose to manifest something like something that will torment us or something to have that experience, we'll manifest it. We'll experience that. But we also need to know that we are the ones who are responsible for creating it. Once we realize that we're the responsible one for everything that's going on around with us personally, and take that responsibility onto ourselves, we will create something different and beneficial for everybody, everybody, everybody. You shine like the bright morning star. Jesus, what a wonder you are. Yes. You think about Yeshua. Think about Jesus. Think about who was he rebuking and who was accepting the good news. Who was stuck under a God spell, and who was accepting the good news of the gospel, the truth that resided within each of them about themselves. I think on those things, because it just affirms what is being sown up and when I'm sleeping or meditating or prayers that get answered and things that are going on. And it's beautiful, and it's love. It is, what did he say? If they want your, what did he say? If they want your cloak, give them your shirt too, or something, and to turn the other cheek. And he says to love thy enemy. Well, if you're loving thy enemy, you have no enemy. And he left us with just two commandments to fulfill everything. And that's to love the Creator with all our heart, mind, body, and soul. And love our neighbors as ourselves. That's pretty simplistic. To me, it sounds like the most important thing that we can ever do or express towards one another is love. It's not about the gifts, but we did talk about the fruits. You will see them and recognize people by their fruits, and so we can discern. But it doesn't mean that just because we're discerning something today, that they will not choose to have this go on within them, or that this is going on within them, and they're going through what some would call the 3 days of darkness, or the inner battles or struggles of letting go of things that we once thought were true. That, my friends, is so difficult. It really is. We're taught by people that we looked up to and trusted, and then we find out, wait a minute, why am I sitting here waiting? The only way for evil to prevail is from good people taking no action, by not doing what is right, what is good, by taking these steps into the leadership roles that we were all born to have, every gift, ability, and everything within us. we will bring about such change and in such TikTok time that will bring peace and love and blessings and abundance without a hierarchy. We're not there yet, but we're working on it, you guys. We are working on it. Hi, Vision in Christ. Hi, My Skies 5D. When I'm going to be playing premieres, or when I'm playing a premiere that is like a old live stream or a guest appearance or something, I think what I'll do in the description box is put mirror and put the original date that it was actually streamed, so that way you'll know when that was, because a lot of times, who has time to go back through 600 something videos, right? And I know you guys enjoy talking to each other. Some of these messages, and some, a lot of these messages that have been given from either call-in shows or interview shows, or even just like what we're doing here now, sharing with one another. People can chat, and there's gold, there's diamonds, there's gems to be picked up as we're ready to pick them up. We don't want to be forcing anybody to do anything against their will, because we want to treat other people the way we want to be treated. So on the triangle, remember, if you've got two sides of a debate, one story over here, and this person has their version, two versions, okay? At the bottom is the truth, and which is the most important. It's not this person's version, it's not this person's version. It's the truth about what's going on. And so we need to make sure we're not taking sides for anything, because we accidentally, unaware, send energy out through taking a side. And I became keenly aware of that, and have just been, I just, get quiet. I will only talk to certain people that I know will not take a side or send out, or energy in a way that could create harm. Because guess what? You know whose responsibility it is if I sit there and tell my version and get you to take my side or whatever, and anything that can't transpires to the person or group or whatever. I am responsible. I'm responsible for everything that I said that was represented there, and I'm responsible for, if you take my side over what I'm saying, then I'm responsible for whatever energetic exchange comes from that too. That's why we're to take our words, our thoughts, and our deeds into a higher place, capturing them all, taken into captivity, and wanting the highest good with unconditional love, abundance, and equality in all of our uniqueness, acceptance of one another, sharing with one another, so we can get through this process together. Those of us that have been going through it longer can bring somebody who just wakes up, let's say a couple weeks ago. They can get through what takes us decades, in less than a year. I've seen it. And not only do they catch up, a lot of times they surpass and come back around, and then are helping to move others that have been going through it for decades along into more awareness and more truth that is residing within each and every one of us. It's that pearl of great price that is residing in each of us. Once you find it, you will not sell that thing for nothing. You will hold onto it. That's a Christian thing, but I bring up different things from that, but it's not to, I'm not trying to convert anybody to Christianity. Far from it. I'm trying to say that there's nothing wrong with any any faith, whatever removes doubt, whatever enhances your expansion and your awareness of your true identity, go for it. I say there's no wrong way to eat a Reese's. It's just when we harm each other or judge each other without even walking a mile, in somebody's shoes. We don't know, so we should not judge. We don't have that right. We don't have that right. Hi, Michael Fontaine. Michael Fontaine? What? You guys, please like, share, and subscribe. I can't believe I've been going an hour and a half. My goodness gracious. Get rid of the triangle. Before I jump off, I do want to ask, does anybody have any questions about what we were talking about with the 111? I saw that on a transcript in a dream. It's weird. Well, 111, I had 111 credit hours. But each class that I took was only worth 1 credit an hour, and the classes that were listed did not make any sense to me. I'm not even going to share them with you guys because they didn't make sense. And how, with the triangle, even if we say 32nd degree or 33rd degree, even with our vertebrae, when we're talking about the oil going up and having the awakening and restoring the oil, it shoots up and it rests at the 33rd degree or 33rd vertebrae for 3 days and then shoots up. Okay, so if we're at 33 and then 3, it's 9, and then up, that's 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1. I just had that revelation with you guys. You guys are awesome. Does anybody have any questions before we cut this one off? We do have channel membership. I appreciate you guys that are becoming members. I think I don't know exactly how many I need to have before I can make more funny little emojis for you. And also, I'm going to start putting on the community page some things just for members. So be looking there for member only informations and things for you. I do not ever want to feel like people need to pay for this information, but at the same time, we pay for a lot of different things, and most content creators know that it costs a little bit for different softwares and whatnot to make things nice for you guys. So, if we break even, that's cool, but normally we operate in the red. So every little bit, it definitely helps. And the thumbs up definitely help. Sharing helps, anything. Same here. I have been eating for 2 hours. My husband brought home it was like, what is it, 12-pack, or I don't know, it looked like there were more than 12 of them, all those tacos, and it is Taco Tuesday after all, so yeah, I chowed down on several tacos before we went live. I just wondered if you have Hangouts or StreamYard. Yes, I have StreamYard and I have Hangouts. When I have a guest come on with me, I do it through StreamYard. And so I went ahead and paid for a year subscription to the StreamYard so we can make it nice. And then now on Hangouts, they stopped allowing us to use that as for when we would want to stream together. And so when I was doing that using OBS, I would have to be on that screen to share the guest, and then I couldn't read the chat, and I hated that. I hated not being able to see what you guys were saying. But on StreamYard, we can be involved with the chat and interact with one another and have guests. Actually, the other day I had an open yard, and anybody who wanted to come in could come in, and we're going to do that more often too. So yeah, um, Michael would like to get on and talk with you. Okay. Um, yeah. Michael, do you? Yeah. Do you have my email? I gave it to you. I have not received an email from you. I've been looking for it. um, because I would be more than happy once we zip this up that we can have a chat, because I am wanting to hear about your experience, absolutely, and you know, and then if you're comfortable with it, maybe calling in and sharing it on a call-in show, or coming on StreamYard and sharing it. So, yeah, yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Yeah. Is it okay if I open up a private StreamYard, is it okay if I invite nice guys in there, Michael Fontaine? Or you want it to be just you and me at first and then bring in Mice Guys? But Mice Guys is so open minded. You'll just love him. I mean, how could you not? How could you not love everybody in here? You guys are all so wonderful. Um, send me an email, and I will check the email. Let me see. Let me open up my email. I haven't opened my email today. Hold on. Yeah, no, I still haven't gotten an email from you, so that that will make it hard for me to even send you an invitation into a StreamYard, because I have to have your email to send you the link to come into the yard, and I send those out via email. So, or we'll open up a little Hangout separate chat, or and I'll put them in there. Uh, I had I had screenshot it, and I'm okay with talking. Okay, hold on. I'll put it in here again for you. Okay, just click on it, and let me see. Hopefully that shows up as a link, or copy and paste it into your email, and in the subject tell me who you are, so I know who you are, and I'll respond. And I'm gonna zip this one up, and I will open up a private StreamYard chat. And do you want me to show that? Hold on. Let's copy that. Nee. Hold on. You just let me know. I'm gonna try to, before we lose contact. Hold on, you guys. Okay, I just sent you a quick message really quick, and if that is the correct one, send me a message back, and then I will send you the link to StreamYard. And once I get you in there, I will see if it's okay to bring in Mice Guys, because he's like awesome sauce, and we love to talk about experiences, phenomena, amazing things that transpire within each of our lives. And that's one thing that we don't do. We never ever take away the validity of anybody else's experience. We've had such off the charts things happen within our own life. The worst thing that I think anybody could do to me is say, no, it's impossible. When I know from what, the what people would call paranormal, or these things that we experience are so off from what we would consider or deem, old self, or old paradigm way of thinking, that I won't ever challenge anybody with their experience, but I do definitely love to hear about them, and I grow from them. And when we share experiences as such, we actually do expand our awareness for each other. And when we expand our awareness for each other, for one another, then we can also absorb and then have a similar experience because it was brought into our awareness. So, things to think about on why it's important for us to keep on doing what we're doing. And remember, you guys, if you're seeing the 111s, 333s, 555s, what are you thinking about? Do those give you affirmations that you're on the right path? And also, remember to think about that when you do the 333, 3 plus 3 plus 3, you're at 9. What's missing? Something's missing. Just one thing. And once we get that one thing, it then becomes a 10. And 1 plus 0 is 1. And we're whole. We become whole. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, me and Michael have emailed each other a few times. Good to see you here. Okay, okay. And let's see, did he email me back? Looks like it. Awesome sauce. Okay. And on that happy note, you guys, I love you all. Like, share, subscribe. I will be playing some premieres of some oldies, the goodies, but I will put mirror and the actual date they actually originally aired. We're going to do some more open streams, open stream yards soon. And I know this is something to look forward to, that My Skies 5D and I will be doing a one-on-one awakening, his awakening journey, and sharing the wisdom and everything that he has experienced and grown into for you guys. I mean, we can just learn so much from each other. It's just beyond. We're so amazing. That's all I can say. I love you guys. Everybody, always remember to share what you know. Listen so we can grow and be the sovereign, unique, divine being that you are. I mean, manifest away, create and expand and explore this realm. There's no place like this place. Peace. I'll talk to you soon.